Oh, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Sai Ishwaraya Vidmahi Satyadevaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarva Prachodayat Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahe Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahe Om Asato ma sagamaya Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya Mrityorma amritam gamaya Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukh Bhagavavet Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shri Sai Ram. Welcome all of you to day 12 of Atma Chalisa Parayanam. Today is the day of global Akhand Bhajans. So just to do a quick recap for you, we started off on day 7 by talking about Trikaran Shuddhi, because this is the aspect, that part where we start practicing. And so the first practice that we put for ourselves was to purify our thoughts, our speech, and our action, and also to unify them and align them, so that whatever, once we have purified and aligned our thoughts, words, and action, is something as a constant sadhana we keep doing during this 40-day Parayanam. And then we discuss the next day, on day 8, the law of karma, which is nothing but the law of cause and effect, and how everything ultimately is bound by this law of cause and effect. So there is a cause for everything, which comes from our past actions, and then it has an effect, and this cycle of cause and effect starts from our thoughts. So if we understand how it works, we can start focusing on our thoughts. So the next day, on day 9, we talked of the law of creative life force. And we said that everything actually is an energy, and that energy has a frequency and a vibration. And the same energy has created the entire cosmos, and all the sentient and insentient beings have that same energy, and that the human beings have a higher life force or a higher energetic beings. And once we become divine, or we move towards experiencing that universal consciousness, we start experiencing higher and higher energy. And that energy, is experienced by us as we start purifying our consciousness. Then on day 10, we spoke about the law of opposing forces, that this whole world, this whole cosmos, and this order that has been created has two forces, one for force and one opposing force. And the whole idea of the opposing force is that in this opposing force, all development happens, all growth happens. And the opposing force is essential for us to become better versions of ourselves. When we have some kind of an opposition, it makes us strive harder, and our spiritual muscles start getting developed, and something inside of us starts getting developed, and we start becoming aware of it. And then on day 11 we spoke about the an imperfectly perfect world, that this world is deliberately created to be imperfect, and it's like an obstacle course, or it's like a university where things need to be fixed. And so it's like a do-it-yourself program. So as we come in this world, we have to negotiate and with these challenges and obstacles and problems. And every time we face and we overcome this, it makes us a better version of ourselves. So this is how it has been designed. So actually, it is perfectly designed to be imperfect. So its imperfection is a very nature of this universe, and it's not by accident. It is not somebody's fault. It has been created like this. And that's why this variety is created, where people with different ways of being, different ways of living, different ways of, language, food, everything is different. And yet, in this diversity, we come in, and in this diversity, we interact. And through this diversity, which throws a unique set of challenges because of this duality. And therefore, in this duality, that oneness is born. And in the imperfection gives birth to perfection. The opposing force, duality, gives birth to oneness. And that is how this universal order has been so created by the Creator. Now today, on day 12, we take this discussion even further. And I'm continuing with the same thought, and we keep going deeper and deeper into this till we completely understand not only what we are talking about, but when we look at our lives, we totally get it, and we understand that whatever has happened in our life so far, everything has been perfectly ordained, has been perfectly designed. And it's beautiful, the order of this universe. As long as we are unaware, we don't understand it, we are ignorant about it, we kind of try and define it as a challenge or a problem or a suffering. But as soon as we get the understanding and we get the right perception of what really is happening to us in our lives and around us, as we said yesterday, the penny drops and something opens up for us. And that opening reveals us, it creates a space around us where we can start recognizing the inner experience. And since this whole program is of the experiential journey, it is the experience of the heart, because heart is the only thing which has been given the ability to experience. Mind only creates challenges and brings a lot of fixed ideas and notions of why things cannot be done, or what are the so-called perceived challenges. So today, therefore, we are going to get to the idea of solution, because we've been talking about challenges, but today we are talking of solution. And therefore, what I have to say today is that every problem, every challenge, every adversity actually has a solution rolled inside it. It's like the eye of the storm. They say the storm is the quietest right in its middle. Actually, in life, all the challenges that come to us are sent to us by none other than our own creative life force. But they come to us only because the creative life force knows that we can handle them, that we are good enough to face them. And therefore, every problem comes with a solution right there as a part of the problem. But what happens with all of us? And I talk about myself as well in my journey. We start focusing. so much on the problem that we lose our attention from the solution. So therefore, when a challenge comes to us in our life, we already know the reason why these challenges are coming. We must first accept that there is a challenge. Instead of trying to deny it, instead of trying to fight it, instead of trying to put the blame on somebody else, first thing is acceptance. That yes, this has come, and it has come not because of somebody, it has come because it's time for me to grow. As we have spoken, life is about practicing to become a better versions of ourselves. So we are practitioners of life. We are not theorists of life, because life, we have to live it. It cannot be a concept. Life has to be lived in such a way that we experience the truth of ourselves, which is called Sat, and we remain in the awareness of who we truly are, which is called Chit, and remaining in that bliss gives us what is called as Ananda or bliss. So that means, we cannot live at the concept of Sat, of just knowing the truth, unless we experience this truth, unless we experience life in its totality. That bliss or that happiness that we are seeking will not come to us. So that means unless we practice it in our life, unless we do nididhyasana, the truth that we are seeking, the experience that we are seeking will not come. Experience comes only with direct evidence. It comes only when you do things. So the only way to do things in life is by doing them. So our objective is to become skillful practitioners of life. As we understand what life, it's like a yoga practitioner, right? Philippa will, agree with me. So, you learn yoga, right? And you become good at it. Then you become a yoga instructor, and then you keep practicing it so that you become a better and better, a yoga instructor, right? And what is happening? We're becoming more and more skillful. And in life also, we have to become more and more adept and skillful at what life is all about. And when we become skillful, we become perfect in everything what we do. And as we become perfect in what we do, there is a joy about it. Because, all your day, your entire day is filled with small perfections. Whatever you're doing, you start doing it perfectly, right? And there is a joy that comes when perfection happens. It happens automatically. Most of you, in whatever work you do, you would know when you do something perfectly, even simple thing like making a cup of tea, when you make that cup of tea perfectly, right, it gives you a lot of joy. When you drink it, it gives you joy. When you make food, it gives you perfectly, it gives you a lot of joy. Anything, even a simple thing like putting your clothes together, if it is done nicely and perfectly, it gives us tremendous joy, right? And that is what we are beginning to get into, that journey of how to become skillful practitioners where everything is done beautifully, even if it is solving a challenge or a problem, right? Because problems are going to come. And those are the lucky ones to whom life keeps throwing challenge after challenge. I recall one particular part of Bhagavad Gita and in the Mahabharata when Kunti, who was the mother of the Pandavas, she actually prayed to Krishna that she said, "Oh Lord, I remember you maximum when I have challenges and problems." So when Krishna asked, "What do you want as a boon, my aunt?" she said, "Please always give me challenges and problems so that I constantly keep remembering you and I never forget you. And I want to make sure that till the last day of my life, I am in remembrance of you, O Krishna." So we are not saying that we want all these problems all the time. We are saying that when the problem comes, we have the right attitude, first of all, to tackle it. And that will come when the first step is we accept it. And we say, yes, it has happened. It has come to us and it has come to make us grow. It has made us come to become to make us more skillful. Let's look for the solution. Okay, we must remember this, that because this whole life on this planet is an energy, and this energetic life force is inside of us and around us, and it is the same life force. Actually, life force or the energy is just one. Okay, if it goes in a person we like, we say this is good energy. But if that energy is in a person who we do not like, we say this is bad energy. Actually, energy does not have a quality. Energy is energy. Okay, it is the human mind which puts it in the category of good and bad. Okay, and therefore we start to create labels around it. And if the energy is the same and it is everywhere, then actually I am equally the creator of this energy, because I am that energy as well. So we've got to start looking at life from the point of view of the creator of this energy, rather than a victim of this energy, rather than struggling with this energy. And so I keep bringing back the attitude. Look at it as an adventure. Look at it as a challenge and an opportunity to grow. Look at it as a way of becoming one with that creative ability and that creative life force, which is who we truly are. You see, the reason I keep stressing it again and again is because hopefully it will go in your manana, and you will start feeling that you are that, and you will start practicing that you are that. And once it becomes your awareness, you will start having the experience. The experience is not coming to us only because we are somewhere not marinating in this thought and remaining in this awareness. It automatically becomes your experience as it comes in your awareness. So that is the reason why, while we have these discussions for 30 minutes and maybe 30 minutes of sharing 1 hour in a day, but what you do with the next 23 hours is most important. This manana is such an important part, and then trying to see how you can remain in that awareness. That is the practice. The practice is not, you're not doing physically anything. You're remaining in that awareness. You're reminding yourself constantly. You keep saying, be aware, be alert. And once that awareness starts to come, everything starts to shift. All experiences start to shift. Blame starts to become, an experience of love. Judgment, dissolves, and we start experiencing love. All negativity starts to go and positivity starts to come in. So it's important that we look at a problem with the right attitude. We look at a problem, and as a friend of ours, as actually a best friend of ours, which has helped us to nudge us forward, take us forward, and we focus on the solution. The solution is always there if we pick up, it's like, they say when God said, man will be sent on earth to experience the divinity. But if it is simple and divinity could be found everywhere, then man would have no challenge at all. So they asked, where should we hide this divinity so that there is a bit of a challenge? And God said, let's put it in the heart of the man, and man will start looking for it everywhere. But whereas it's actually inside. The same thing is, we are never given a problem that we can't face and we can't handle and we can't overcome. And the solution, the key of the problem, or the key of the lock, or the key to the solution is always in the center of the problem. Look for it as a challenge and you will instantly see the solution. So go ahead, and when this becomes a game, when it becomes an adventure, it brings a joy. Because next time it happens to you, you say, oh, all right, something else has come. Let's see what we can do with this. And this is the whole essential understanding of Bhagavad Gita. Karmanyavadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. That all that I can do when things happen to me is that I give it my best shot. I do the best under the circumstances, not for a result, not for an expectation of any reward, but I am doing it because this is what comes naturally to me. This comes to me because my attitude towards life has changed completely. I am no longer complaining. I am no longer a victim. I am a skillful practitioner of life and principles of life, and I choose to do it my way. And I do not run away and shy away from this. Because when we get into panic, anger, disgust, or any other strong emotion which a problem brings, is when we start to become negative. And once that negative thought and emotion comes, negative emotion is so strong that it transmits into our entire body, and our body starts becoming fatigued, stressed. A disease comes in our body, and as soon as you change the problem into a challenge, and you bring that excitement of a climber who is going to soon get to the peak of the mountain, the adrenaline starts pumping, and fatigue and stress gets replaced by a unknown set of joy, because you become good at playing this game. You become adept at this game, and therefore you start becoming what we spoke about yesterday in the session. We start becoming equal-minded. It doesn't matter to us if there is a problem, and you remember the Creator will keep throwing challenges at you till you react to a problem as being a problem. As soon as your reaction ends, as soon as you see it differently, there is no need for those problems, because you've understood. A situation will occur and reoccur again and again till the time the lesson is not learned. And once you learn the lesson, and once you are not reacting to it, suddenly that lesson is no longer required. Do you get the whole rationale and how this whole cycle works? And that's why we have to complete this. That's why it has to be done by ourselves and not by anybody else. So this is how our discrimination grows. This is how our approach to life changes. This is how our attitude changes. And this is how slowly that shift comes in our consciousness, and we are no longer reacting. Because if you don't see a problem as a problem or a challenge as a challenge, and you don't call something which is out of the ordinary as adverse. You see, the problem is that something unexpected comes, we call it adversity. It's a problem in our definition. But when you change it the way you perceive it in your mind, you've re-languaged your mind, you've recalibrated it in your head, suddenly it's no longer what it seemed to be. And suddenly you seem to be always under control when life throws something at you. And not only you, people around you also start getting impacted. So that's an important insight I want to share with you. And I've been building this thought over the last 3-4 days, so that it becomes steady in you, right? And if you still have any queries around it, if you still have any questions relating to this particular aspect, then please do ask, because it's important that we all come on this one page, because we're getting deeper and deeper into we're removing the layers and making sure that our perception about life and the events and the people around in our life, it becomes crystal clear, and we see them as that light that they actually are. Okay, we're going to come to a point where we are going to look at Ishavasyam idam sarvam yat kincham jagatyam jagat, because there is nothing other than this energetic life force, this God, this divine consciousness, which is present everywhere in each one of us. We are reaching there, but we have to keep clarifying the things that trouble us in our mind, which forces us to judge, which forces us to distinguish between good, bad, and evil, which forces us to create two sides. So we must go and we must start to see where the challenge arises, where the perception changes, and where we can start solving it. And as we said, the root cause of all the things are our thoughts. And so therefore, thoughts arise in our mind. So that means we have to start applying the solution in our mind, right? There's no sense in, trying to apply the solution somewhere else. We've got to make sure that what upsets us, what puts us out of gear, we know how to tackle it. We know how to change it completely. We just completely re-language it. And once we've understood, once we become skilled at this, then life is a breeze, I can tell you. And then you say, come on, bring it on. Let's see what you have. I'm ready, right? And that joy spreads. You smile inwardly when something like this happens. And you say, it's okay. This too shall pass, right? So I want to share my gratitude with all of you for being here, because everything is happening because you are present here, and we've all come together in a divine yajna. And as I keep saying, and I'll keep saying it again and again, till one day everybody comes to the same page, that our devotion to it, our sacrifice towards it is very important, because the power that it unleashes is so beautiful and is unimaginable of what it can do to us, to uplift us, to take us where we need to be. Mind is very tricky. It will keep giving us excuses. And, when the negative reasons don't work, it will give you very positive reasons of service, seva, good work, and all that to try and keep you away. These are all temptations. It comes in different ways. Maya keeps tempting us. We need to be able to make our choices. So with that, I love you all, and lots of love and blessings, and questions are welcome. So over to all of you. Sairam. Thank you.